So let omega be a sample space associated with the random experiment. Okay, then we say that a real valued function which defined on space is called a random variable. Okay, right. So we say that this is a discrete random variable, a continuous random variable based on the range of this random variable. So random variable x,
Hello, sir,
is said to be discrete if x of omega, which we did not, which is the range of the this random variable, is either finite or countably infinite. So we have already seen some examples for that. Okay, so if the range of the random variable is either finite or countably infinite, we say that this is a discrete random variable, and we have defined its PMF, means probability mass function, as follows, given by Px of x is equals to probability of x equals to x. So this is already mentioned, that is abuse notation, which says that x equals to x if I want to denote. So that's nothing but the set of possible events in omega such that x of omega is equals to x, which takes the values, events which takes the values x. Okay, so countably infinite means you can count, but the set is infinite. So set of natural numbers. Okay, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, not ending. That count is not ending here, but we say that that is a countably infinite set. Okay, right. So the either x assumes the values from the finite set to some 1 to n, we can say. But it is not necessary that it is only assume the positive values. You can it can also assume the negative values, depends on the problem you are working on. For example, if you are working on the problem like stock exchange and all, the benefit, there will be loss. So loss you can identify by the negative number, and the benefit will be can be assigned by the positive numbers. Okay, right. Okay, so this is the definition of PMF, and which has some certain properties. Okay, the very first property which you can see by the definition, that's a probability, or say always a non-negative function. Okay, right. And what more is, if you take the summation over all possible x values, this f, that will leads to 1. Okay, so in inverse manner, if you are able to identify a function px, you can say, or some p, such that it satisfies both the properties on some certain set, then you can say, certainly say that this refers to a PMF for some certain random variable, and which is going to be discrete. For this case, if it is there, going to be a probability mass function for some discrete random variable, which is what is that random variable, we don't know right now. Okay, or which problem it refers to, we don't know, but it is going to be PMF of certain random variable in discrete. Okay, and we have also identified the definition of cumulative distribution function, which is given by fx of a as probability of x less than equals to a, and which for the discrete case, it will take all the possible values in the range which is less than or equals to x. You take sum up of all the probabilities, that will give you this CDF for discrete random variable. Okay, and what is the nature of this cumulative distribution function is it behaves like a step function. So we have already seen that as well. And another important properties also we will list out. Okay, so okay, so in case of discrete random variables, the CDF will behave like a step function. Okay, next we have also learned the definition of a continuous random. So we say that a random variable x is continuous if you are able to identify a non-negative function defined on whole R, such that probability for on any set of or any subset of real number can be obtained by taking the integration over that set. Okay, so here suffix x is stands for the dependence on random variable x. Okay, so with this you can certainly find out the what is the probability over the interval, open interval a to b is going to be integration a to b fx of x dx. Okay, if you take any finite set, means like on the set of like say 1, 3, 4 and so on. Okay, you certainly know that this is going to be giving you the area over this point set is going to be 0. Okay, that you can refer like Riemann integral property and all. Right. Now this fx of x is called PDF, probability density function of x, and is such that it is non-negative, and integration minus on the whole r fx of x dx is equals to 1. Okay, now if you closely look this, what is fx of x into dx is going to be nothing but the probability of x less than capital X less than x plus dx. For small dx, it's going to be the area means which if you read the Riemann integral is nothing but the area bounded by the rectangle with height fx of x and the length is dx. Okay, so this is how this area is coming here. That's very clear from the Riemann integral property. Okay, now so that's why this will give you the assignment of probability, and so sum of all probabilities should be equals to 1. So here in the limiting sense, what is the discrete sum s2 is going to be integral over the whole line. So fx of x dx is 1. Okay, so in as we have seen in the same case like PMF of x. Okay, so if you are able to find a non-negative function which satisfy this property, these two properties, we say that that's going to be a PDF of some continuous random variable. Okay, and you can also write that the cumulative distribution function for this random variable in terms of fx of x. Okay, so it's going to be fx of x is equals to less than equals to x. So what does that mean? X less than equals to x means x falling into this interval minus infinity to close x. Okay, so if you refer the definition, how to assign x on the interval, this probability is going to be integration over this interval minus infinity to x fx of x. Okay, now we are going to list out all the properties for the cumulative distribution function attached with this. Right. So properties of CDF of a random variable. So the very first property, if you look at fx at minus infinity, must be 0. Why? Because fx of minus infinity equals to probability of x less than equals to minus infinity. Okay, it's certainly an event. Okay, right? So impossible event means like it cannot be possible. It's, you know, certainly that it's not going to happen. So that's certainly is equals to 0. Okay, fx of infinity is equals to probability of x less than equals to infinity, means the whole assumes all the values, then sum of all the probabilities is equals to 1. Third property is fx is non-decreasing function. Okay, means if you take any x1 and x2 such that x1 less than x2, you can certainly show that fx of x1 is less than equals to fx of x2, because of the fact that when you write now this in the definition, they all are the non-negative. They are all are the non-negative. So if you see x less than equals to x1, if you take the all possible event, is going to be subset of x less than equals to x2, where one is less than x2. And you can also refer the result that probability function is a non-decreasing function. So probability of x less than equals to x1 less than equals to x less than equals to x2. So certainly it covers the more area than the previous one. The last property attached with it is fx is going to be right continuous. Fx of x is equals to fx at x minus. Okay, that you can verify. Okay, right. Okay, so now let's look at some example which give us the motivation to see why these jointly distributed random variables are necessary. Okay, means in the problem, in a certain problem, or in many problems, if you go in the real life problems, okay, you certainly will be interested in more than one random variables. Or if you get down to this in the calculus part, certainly the real problems will be more accurately if you go for more than one variable, uh, like differential equations. Okay, right. So similarly here also, let's look at this motive here. Suppose that 3 batteries are chosen from a group of 3, 4 used but still working, and 5 defective batteries. 3 new batteries, 4 used one but still working, they are still working, and 5 defective batteries. So 3 batteries are chosen from this group. Now let X denotes the random, that denotes the number of new batteries that are chosen. Okay, so new battery will come into this set, and Y it denotes the number of used batteries that are chosen. So Y denotes means you are in both of the case, maybe sometime. So X denotes the random variable number of new batteries that are chosen, and Y denotes the number of used batteries that are chosen. Now see here case, suppose that 3 batteries are chosen. So 3 batteries are only chosen. So X, so none of the battery may choose, or one new battery, or all 3 new batteries. Similarly Y, so because 4 used one. Okay, so set is going to be greater than equals to 3, right? So number of used batteries are chosen are going to be no used batteries are chosen, or one used battery chosen, 2 used battery chosen, or 3 or all of them are used. So X can take any value from this set, and Y also can take any value from this set. But now the question is, how do we assign that density function, or in other words, mass function, probably mass function for this case. Okay, so it's very clear that both X and Y are discrete random variables. Okay, so we are only working with the joint distributed random variable, means both of them either discrete or both of them are continuous. Okay, we are not going with the mixed one, means one is discrete, continuous, but there may be a chances. Okay, that is just a different case here. So let's say both are the discrete random variable, and we want to assign the joint PMF, you can see for this. Okay, how do we go with it? Okay, so it's like both should happen together. That's what it means, jointly, right? So and will take place, or intersection you can take, both should happen, you can say. Okay, right. So how do we define the relationship between X and Y? Okay, so let's see how do we define the CDF for this jointly distributed random variable, where both are discrete random variables. Let's see that. Okay, so how do you define is, earlier if you look at, so for X case, if you look at what was the fx of X was, is probability of X less than equals to X. Okay, so Fy of Y, Fy of Y is equals to probability of all the events, this probability of Y less than equals to Y. So these are the individual CDF for the variable, discrete random variable right now. Okay, or in general. Okay, right. Now how do we, means like joint PMF, you can say. So we want to assign a joint CDF for these two cases. So certainly the new capital F has the dependence on both x comma y, and it's going to be a function of two variables. And how do you assign is probability of all possible less than equals to x and all y less than equals to y. So this is how you will define the joint PMF, joint CDF for jointly distributed random variables. Okay, so this is add here less than equals to x and y less than equals to y. Similarly for joint PMF and joint PDF and so on. Okay, so right now can we, so also one of the question is, can we, if I define in this way, can I get back here, and can we get back this individual CDF of the this jointly distributed random variable or not? Answer is yes. Okay, because if you take y less than y and you take all the possible y's, small y's, and take the union, it will tend to the whole sample space. Okay, similarly, if you take all the possible x and take the union, that will tend to the full sample space. So we define the joint CDF of x and y as follows. Yeah, so one can obtain, so the last one is written here simply, that fx of x you can obtain by varying the y over the level on real line. So fx of y x comma infinity equals to probability of x less than equals to x, y less than infinity. Okay, so if I want to explain this, it's simple. So y less than infinity will cover the whole sample space. Okay, we will give you the intersection with omega. Okay, so if I have here, so let me, so if I have, what is this, x less than equals to x section y less than infinity is going to be less than equals to x intersection with whole sample space omega, and that is going to be x less than equals to x, because y less than infinity will cover the whole space. Okay, similarly you can write the less than infinity add this singleton y or not singleton, means like the events all x less than infinity and you have all the y less than equals to y. Now this x less than infinity will cover the whole sample space omega again, so this is going to be omega intersection with y less than equals to y. So that will certainly give you the CDF of y, individual y, and this is CDF of individual. Okay, so this is how you can obtain the individual CDF for the random variables x and y from the jointly distributed CDF for x and y both. Now, in case of, so similarly, you can certainly define the joint PMF of x and y. Okay, so I hope you get the answer for this last part. How do you are able to get the individual CDF from the jointly distributed PDF from the last part? Okay, right. Okay, so similarly, you can assign the joint PMF of x and y. So you have, if you recall, that Px of xi was probability of x equals to x. Okay, similarly, Py of yj, you can say that's going to be probability of y equals to yj. Now, to define the joint PMF, so events should occur together. Okay, so this is how this is defined. Px comma y of xi comma yj defined as probability of x equals to xi and y equals to yj. Both should happen together. Okay. And now, if so, similarly, what we have done previously is like if you take this y equals to yj union over j, okay, then that will find the certainly full sample space omega. And similarly, union of I xi will define complete sample space omega. Okay, and we use the fact to find out how this individual PM is related with the joint PMF of X and Y. Okay. So again, so it's clear from here that X equals to Xi. You can write as union over J X Xi and Y equals to Yj. So this is how it is designed here. So it is in the same way. So you are taking this X equals to Xi intercept whole sample space omega, and that X equals to Xi intersection with whole sample space omega can be written as union of J Y equals to Yj. Now use the distributive property, then union of J X equals to Xi and Y equals to Yj. And if you, so all are disjoint events because Y equals to Yj are the events which are mutually exclusive events. Okay, so that intersection will also becomes mutually exclusive. So you can use the countable infinite additivity property here, which leads to summation J Px, that probability of X equals to Xi and Y equals to Yj. So if you take the summation over J, all for all Y equals to Yj, you will have actually you are going to get the PMF for random variable X. If you take the sum over I and over the joint PMF for X equals to Xi, you can say, then it will give you the PMF of individual random variable Y. Okay, so let's take one example and try to get it. Okay, so right. So let's consider the previous, the first example we have considered. Okay, so we have there is X can assume the values from 0, 1, 2, 3, and Y can assume the values from the set 0, 1, 2. If you recall, X is the random variable that number of batteries chosen are new. Okay, and Y is the denotes the number of used battery that are chosen. Okay, right. Now, what is the Px comma Y, the joint PMF at 0, 0? What is the meaning? That is going to be probability of X equals to 0 and Y equals to 0. Yeah, so this is going to be the probability of X equals to 0, Y equals to 0 means what? No, means all the three chosen chosen batteries are coming from the defective ones. So they are going to be 5 choose 3, right? 5. So total number is you recall this is 3 new, 4 used, and 5 defective batteries. So 5 plus 4 is 9 plus 3 is 12. So out of 12, choose 3. So out of 12, choose 3. Their number of. Right. So this is what is 5 choose 3 is what? This is going to be is 6, right, or 10. So 5. So that's going to be 5 into 4 into. So 5C2. So divide by 2, divide by 12 into 11 into 10, divide by 6. So this is going to be. So this is going to be 10 by 20. So this is the probability of getting none of, means like neither new battery or not the used one but still working. Now if you look at the case for, let's say, 0 new and 1 used, means like probability of X equals to 0 and probability of getting Y equals to 1. right? So this is going to be out of 12, choose 3. Okay, so x equals to 0, none of them are coming. So y equals to 1. One used battery and other are defective. So 5, choose 2 into choose 1. Right? Out of 4, 1 is, out of 5, 2 are coming. So that's going to be, so this is, denominator is straightforward, that is 220. And 5, choose 2 is 10 into 4 is what? Right? Now, similarly, you can like 0, 2. So of x equals to 0 and y equals to 2. So the new one, used one are 2. So 5, yeah. So 5, choose 1 into 4, 2, divide by 12, choose 3. So that's going to be, you have this 4, choose 2 is 30, right? And divide by 220. And so on. Similarly, you can obtain for, so you can finish it off. So like probability of x comma y 0, 3 is equals to, so probability of x equals to 0 and y equals to 3. So that's going to be, so all are used ones. So 4, choose 3, divide by 12, choose 3. That's going to be the probability here. So that's going to be here 4 divided by 220. So if you wish, I can certainly give you one more here. So here is going to be, let's say, x equals to 1 and y equals to 2. So probability of x equals to 1 and y equals to 2. So they are simultaneous tasks, okay, and here. So that's going to be, out of 3 new, 1 is coming, and out of 4, 2 are coming. So divide by 12, choose 3. So that's going to be, this is 6 into 3, that is 18, divide by 220, and so on. Okay, right. So what you obtain is as the following. Okay, so for x, so I here is for x, and this is for y, random variable. For x equals to 0, y equals to 0, y equals to 1, y equals to 2, y equals to 3. That we have just now shown 10 by 220, 40 by 220, 30 by 220, 4 by 220. Okay, right. So certainly these values are, okay. Why? Because there is no chance of getting x equals to 1 and y equals to 3, because there is no 4 ball are going to come. Okay, so where the sum of the this 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 3 is 5, more than or equals to 4. That's going to be, these probabilities are leading to this 0. Now, as told, this table, you can certainly identify what is the probability x equals to 0 when you sum up over all the possible probabilities for x equals to 0 and y equals to 0, 1, 2, 3. If you sum up, so 10 plus by 220 plus 40 by 220, 30 by 220, 4 by 220, all of them are summed. So that's going to be 84 by 220. That you can verify. Probability of x equals to 1. Okay, so we sum up over this probability. So this is going to be 90 plus 18 is 100. 8 by 220. Going to be 27 by 220, and this is going to be 1 by 2. Now, if you sum up all this, you're going to be 1. Okay, so 27 plus 1 is 20, 28, and 8 is 36. 136 plus 84 is going to be 220. So 220 by 220 is 1. Similarly, if you sum up all the for all the x values and fix y, then you will obtain the corresponding probabilities for y equals to g. So this for y equals to 0, that's going to be, this is going to be plus 10 is 20, 30. So 56 by 220, right? Okay, so this is going to be 112 by 220. This is going to be 48 by 220. And this is going to be 4 by. So once you write this table, you will certainly able to find out the individual for each random variable. Now you can also sum up these 4 probabilities, that is also leads to 1. Okay, and also you can verify that what is the probability that y equals to a means no used one. Okay, that also you can verify. Okay, individually. Right. Now let's take one more example here. Suppose that 15% of the, so in a certain community, that 15% of the families have no children, 20% have 1 children, 35% have 2 children, and 30% have 3. So total is 100% are discounted families. Okay, so families in a certain community have no children is 15%. Having 1 children have 20%, having 2 children is 35% of total, and having 3 children is 30%. Okay, now assume that each equally likely to be a boy or a girl. Okay, so means the probability a boy or a girl is 1 by 2, 1 by 2. Okay, right. So right, either child is a boy or a girl, so equal probability of being a boy or a girl is 1 by 2. Okay. Now, family is chosen at random. So from the society, you choose family at random from this community. Then B the number of and G the number of girls in this family. Okay, so B denotes the number of boys and G denotes the number of girls in the chosen family. So that will certainly define, so B and G will define a random variable. Okay, and then you write here joint PMF. Okay, certainly you can write that what are the possible values of number of boys and what are the possible values of number of girls. So both are falling into, right? So it has 3 children. Okay, so it can go for no 0 boy, 1 boy, 2 boy, 3 girls, 3 boys, all of them are boys, maybe. So this also similarly, because both of them are equally likely. So again, this B and G will define a discrete random variable. Okay, you want to assign the probability for each equals to 0, B equals to 1, B equals to 2, B equals to 3. Okay, right. Okay, right. So we want to assign the joint PMF for this case. Okay. So what is the probability? So if I define this joint PMF is going to be have dependence on B and G, let's say for 0, 0. So that's going to be probability of B to 0 and G equals to 0. What is the P? Is no boy, no girl. Means if it belongs to what is the family of, what is the probability of for being chosen from the family which has no children is 15%, so 0.15. Right, that has given. Suppose that 15% of the families in a certain community have no children. Okay, right. Now let's say probability of B comma G 0, 1 means that's going to be probability of B equals to 0 and G equals to 1. Okay. Now, how do you evaluate this probability? So means total child is 1. Okay, right. So what is the probability that B equals and G equals to 1 and G equals to 1 means, so probability of, so this case means it has in total that family which has 1 children, right? No boy, or total child is 1. So how many of them are 20% there, right? So that's going to be point into, so being a girl with the probability, so probability of being a girl given that 1 child is 1 by 2. So finally go for, so the probability of family having 1 child into probability of girl equals to 1 given 1 child. Okay, conditional probability, that's going to be 1 by 2. So that's going to be 0.1. Because probability of B equals to 1 comma equals to 0 will also become 0.10. So both of them together will become 0.2. That also you can understand by looking at this. Okay. Similarly, you can have probability of P of B comma G, let's say 1 comma 2. I'm interested in finding the probability of getting 1 comma 2. So that's going to be probability of B equals to 1 and G equals to 2. This is into probability of B equals to 1 comma G equals to 2 given 3 child family. Okay, right. Now probability of 3 child is 0.30. Okay, now in a family of 3 child, what is the probability? That probability of getting 1 boy and 2 girls is out of 3. So total 3 child, 2 are girls, into what is the probability that this is going to be 1 by 2 square into 1 by 2 is the probability of getting 1 boy. Okay, right. So this is going to be 0.30 into 3 into 1 by 8. So that's going to be 0 0.8. So that's going to be 0.5. Yes. Now, see, here we have to be very careful. So see, earlier you have this probability of 0, 0 means none of them are there. Okay, no, so probability of having no children is straightforward 0.15. Okay, now wait for a minute. Now probability of being B equals to Z 0 comma 1. So probability of 0 and G equals to total number of children in a family is 1 child. So probability 0.20 and probability of getting 1 girl given 1 child, probability is half. Okay, right. So that's going to be 0.10. Now let's look at this case. Probability of B comma G given 1 comma 2. Okay, means the number of boys is 1 and girl is 2. Okay, now this is equals to, means it's a notation, this is how it will. Now this is now total number of child is 3. Okay, so probability of getting 3 child should certainly fall into that probability of having 3 child, family having 3 child, into probability of, in that case, the 1 boy and 2 girls. Okay, so you have a family, so you certainly you were having the you have the families like, let's say so you have, this is family 1, family 2, family 3, and you have, let's say, family with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So 1 children, 2 children, 3 children. Now you are in here in this case. Okay, now this is going to be, now in this you have 3 children in this family. So with the chance that 0.30, this is with 0.30, 0.30. Okay, now from 3, out of 3, 1 is boy and 2 are girl. So out of 3, 2 must be girl. So 3 choose 2. So there are this many number of cases, 3 cases. Okay, so 3 choose 2 time 1 by 2 whole square. So that's because of 2 girls, 1 by 2 into 1 by 2, and 1 boy is going to be 1 by 2. Okay, so why it is so? Because see, if you here number, because here is you have G1, G2, B. So how many such pairs are there? So G1, G2 are 2 girls and B are there. So 3 will possible. So G1, B, G2. Okay, and B, G1, G2. Only 3 possible cases. Okay, means this is G1 and G2 is there. G1 and G2 are alike, you can say. Okay, so you cannot distinguish like G2 and G1 is okay. Okay, right. So that is why this 3 choose 2, that's a possible are there into 1 by 2 whole square into 1. So in total, that's the 0.112. Okay, so similarly, you can find others as well. So similarly, you can find for probability of. So one more thing you can notice from here, that this is B comma G is 2 comma 1. If you try to find probability of being 2 boys and 1 girl, you will find that that is also the same as double 1 2. Okay, so if you look at the table, it will be a symmetric. So if you write down the matrix, corresponding matrix is going to be symmetric matrix. Okay, that you can see from the previous table and upcoming table as well. Okay, so similarly here and in this case as well, you will proceed in the same case, same way. Probability of family of 3 child into probability of boy equals to 2 and number of boys is 2 and number of girl is 1 is 3 choose 2 into 1 by 2a. Okay, right. So there are 3 places, right? There are 3 places. Out of 3, 2 girls. Okay, girls you want out of 3, these 3 places. So this is how many ways is 3 choose 2. So what we observe is the following. I think the table will as follows. Okay, so that can be now. Here is this we have already calculated 0.10, and we have also got 1 comma 2. That's 1125. Now you can also look at, so whatever is in this row, that also sitting in the column, so that will fall into a symmetric matrix, you can say. Now this refers to G and this refers to B. Okay, so probability of G equals to J and probability of B equals to I. Okay, so you can fill the sum here. You can fill the sum of this. That will give you the probability of B equals to I, and you can fill the sum of over here if the probability mass function for the being girl equals to G equals to J. Okay, and that you can also match with the your individual MF when you try to write for the same. Okay, right. Okay, now in the same fashion, you can say we can also write the the PDF for jointly distributed random variables where both are continuous. So we are going to call them as jointly continuous random variables. So if X and Y are continuous, and if you write their joint distribution, or you can say if you make them joint, then we say that they are jointly continuous random variable with some PDF. Okay, so with that PDF will also have some property that it's a non-negativity on the R2, and the probability of the over any subset of the plane in the plane, that nothing but the area under the region. Okay, so instead of single integral now it will be double integral. Okay, it's the right time to mention here that if you want to increase one more random variable, so suppose you have y, and z, three random variables also you can work now. Okay, so similar in the same fashion, extend the definition for jointly discrete random variable, jointly continuous random variable. So here you will have triple integral if you have three. If you have four random variables, four jointly continuous, you have four time integral, and so on. Okay, similarly, you can also write jointly CDF and so on. Okay, so we say that x and y are jointly continuous if there exists a non-negative function f on R2 such that this probability of or for any subset in R2. So C is any subset of R2. It may be a rectangle, it may be a square, it may be a some other reason. Okay, right. So over which you are integrating. Okay, so if you take any rectangle here, a comma b cross c, so your integral is a to b and c to d respectively. You have to put the limits here for x and y respectively. Okay, right. So in this case, we will say that fxy is called joint PDF. And if you want to write in this case CDF, it's very simple. So if you follow the definition previously, it's the same way. Probability of x less than equals to a and y less than equals to b. So if you write this x less than equals to, x belongs to the minus infinity to a close, and y belongs to the minus infinity comma b close here. Now, so together will fall into this infinite length rectangle, you can say. Okay, so what is the definition of this is, what is the definition of the Cartesian product is a cross b is equals to a comma b such that a belongs to a and b belongs to b. So this is followed here in this case. So pair will lies in this together. And so by looking at the definition of probability of xy belongs to c is double integral over c. Now this first one, a, the first set denotes for x variable, second set will be for y variable. So respectively you have to also put down them in the terms of x and y respectively. So this is for minus infinity to a over the interval and minus infinity to b for the y. Okay, definition for CDF, for joint CDF for jointly distributed continuous random variable. Okay, right. Okay, now so from this PDF, from this CDF, you can actually get the CDF for individual one. Similarly, like if you replace b equals to infinity, okay, that will give you the CDF for x. If you replace a is equals to infinity, that will give you the CDF for y. Okay, so what is that is here is, so let me write down here. Okay, so what is fx comma y is a comma infinity is by looking at previously. So that's going to be minus infinity to infinity integration minus infinity to a fx comma y x comma y dx, or you have, this is okay, so this is a reverse. I will just write in this here. I just write is, this is a and this is infinity dy dx. Okay, right. So this is going to be integration minus infinity to a, and this is, we are going to denote it by fx of x dx. So this is going to be fx of x. And what is fx of x is, so if you look at here, what is fx of x is integration minus infinity to infinity fx comma y of x comma y dy. So if you integrate with respect to y, and put upper limit minus lower limit, it will be remaining only the function of x. So that we will call as fx of x, and that is nothing but the PDF of x, and this will give you this integration minus to infinity fx of a here. That will give you the CDF of x random variable. Similarly for y. So similarly, fy or x comma y of infinity comma b, that is equals to integration minus infinity to b, integration minus infinity to infinity, fx comma y of x comma y, and you have this is dx dy. Okay, so this is going to be integration minus infinity to b fy of x, fy of y, let me be specific here, fy of y dy, that's equals to fy of b, where fy of y is equals to integration minus infinity to plus infinity fx comma y of x comma y dx. So if you integrate with respect to x, you are remaining with the function of x only. Okay, so that will be called as PDF of continuous random variable y, and the above is the CDF of the continuous random variable y. Okay, so if you integrate on the whole R for x, you will get the distribution function for y. If you integrate over the whole of y, that will give you the distribution function for x. Okay, right. So this is only here mentioned here. So if x and y are jointly continuous, then they are continuous random variable, and that probability of x belongs to b. So this is what this the probability. So y belongs to minus infinity to infinity will tends to the whole sample space. Okay, so now if you look at the definition, so this is going to be x comma y belongs to b cross with minus infinity to infinity, and you are integrating over the whole, that rectangle you can see, infinite left rectangle. In roughly we are saying, okay, it may not be exactly the rectangle, maybe a strip. Okay, infinite strip is there, or maybe some infinite square. Okay, that depends on the set P. Okay, right. So that's going to be integrate over this whole b cross minus infinity to infinity, and that you will apply the label. Okay, so I think here no requirement of repetition or anything. So just now we have record. So individual probability can be get. Okay. Okay. So let's do the following problem now. So it is given that the joint PDF for discontinuous variables x and y is given as follows. Okay. I think time is over. Okay. Yeah. So we will do this example in during the next lecture. Okay. Right.